let me share this amazing day with you guys. And konnichiwa. Let's say konnichiwa. Selamat siang. I'm Shogo Ochiai, and saya orang Jepang. Saya CTO di PT VIP Plaza, and he is VP of Engineering, Budi. And lahir di November 1990. So I'm now 27 years old. I like Fiona Apriani dari JKT48. But saya sudah punya istri jadi nggak bisa cinta. And today, the theme is humble beginning. So I will introduce my humble beginning, and I want to share some good information to you, new engineers. And this is kind of, just one of the diverse opinions. There is many engineer, apa ya? Berbagai macam engineer ada di masyarakat. Jadi, this is just one of the opinion. How do you answer when you are asked, what is the most important things as engineer? Do you have any opinion? You. Okay, so I will answer philosophy. Yeah, it's a little bit deep topic. Why? There's many decision making within engineering and human activity. And what you bet on? This question is the most important, I think. And in real world, there is many complex problem there is. Always some advice is very simplified, and it's like just make things people want. But actual business is not so much simple. So we need to have some weapon to make a decision. And I will introduce my history. And I was not talented, and a late starter. And but I'm here now, and I'm doing CTO. So what connected that far dot, the not talented start to here? There is 5 years. I want to introduce that story now. I knew programming when I was elementary school student. And I just tried Maki-Tag. And now it's already obsoleted from browser, so you cannot use it. Then I learned Fortran, C, and PHP in university as class. And the score is really terrible, it was. Yeah, really terrible. I started learning programming when I was 22 years old, now 27 years old, so just 5 years after I started programming. Before that, I was a sales guy, sales newbie as a university student, and there's nothing result. I cannot sell anything. I try to do the sales. I try to be entrepreneur, but I cannot do anything. That's why I dive into the programming, because I need to product some value to the world. And the shortest way I thought that was programming. And I learned Android app, and I made simple calculator UI first. And I submit it to my kind of university senior. Yeah, it's like a friend. I submit it, and that friend give me some job, but it was free job. There is no salary. And I continued it 2 months. It was Ruby on Rails job. And then after 2 months, I could get paid job from that person, and it's just like 10 juta per month. 10 juta per month. 10 juta sounds like good in Indonesia, but in Japan it's like almost half or 1/3 price of the usual engineer. And I continued it 1 year. Yeah, I was in kind of parent house, so there is not so much difficulty, but it was a little bit tough term. Then after 1 year, I joined Cloud, Pass, and Bus startup. Do you know Bus? Backend as a service. It's like Firebase. Yeah, there is a logo and icon. It's storage is just simple storage for the front-end engineer, app engineer, or IoT engineer. You can directly connect to the storage from front-end. Yeah, there is of course downside that you cannot make a model, you cannot make some business logic, so the code base will be very complex, but anyway. There is some appropriate usage for the simple application. Just one click and you can make some infrastructure on admin, and you can connect by putting some one-liner JavaScript to the front. It was 2014 or something, that kind of. And Pass.io was acquired by Facebook. And just its acqui-hiring, team was absorbed and the product was shut down. And Firebase was acquired by Google, and now it's very famous. Everyone using that, I know. Then, how about Milk Cocoa, my service? Acquired by Uhuru, that is large software house in Japan, but price was 1/10, just 10% of the Firebase. But I convinced that our technology was greater than Firebase at that time, but it was 10% price. I felt the market existed at that time, and I deeply think why it happened. Then I joined to the venture capital right company because I want to know how the startup business working and how the money is flowing in the market. So yeah, the company's mission is quantitation of the startup and rapid prototyping as an investment. So make some product prototyping and give that to the team and get some equity from that startup. That kind of business it was. Then, yeah, after graduate there, I did some freelance job like a cross-border EC, AdTech, C2C. Yeah, there was many jobs. It was good income, but a little bit boring because it's not my business. It was not my idea. And now, who am I? I'm a CTO of VIP Plaza, and there is 15 tech member, 250 or something members, and 31 microservices. Yeah, we are taking the microservices way, so infrastructure is quite loose coupled, decoupled. That kind of infrastructure now I'm maintaining. And simultaneously, I'm machine learning director, so yeah, kerjasama dengan mid-trans for integrating scoring system and recursive evaluating of the customer trust, that kind of thing I'm doing. Then simultaneously, I'm blockchain guru. Yeah, this is not public. I don't want to say that on public because it's like against to the government, and I don't want to censored by Indonesian government, so I cannot say it public, but I love Ethereum, and I'm now translating Plasma white paper to the Japanese, that kind of thing I'm doing now. Then, what is needed for beginning for engineer? Simply saying, philosophy is, it's very fragmented aspect, but doing Wi-Fi is also near to the philosophy. And answer to the what is good hacker, what is Apple, what is a laptop, that kind of simple question answer is also, it's tend to be like a philosophy. And philosophical thinking gives us how to learn faster, how to find critical paths of everything, how to make yourself genius. That kind of way philosophy gives us. Okay, so let's say now apply philosophy or some critical thinking to engineering. Static modeling is easier. It's like making entity relation model, ERD, or making class map, class diagram. It's easier. It's just structure. It's static. But a more difficult thing and a more aligned to the real world is dynamic modeling. In other words, there is self-organization. It's not controlling. It's like making environment and let things to be like that. It's like a Gojek. Gojek application is huge network. Google is also huge network. But nothing controlled. It's self-organized. This is a virtual cycle diagram. Virtual cycle diagram. This is Jeff Bezos, CEO Amazon, write this diagram. This is kind of the recursive information flow regarding Amazon business. This kind of time sequential moving modeling and that kind of understanding is much more important than static modeling, I convince. And how to think about self-organization. The good example is like a traffic jam, macet in Jakarta. Yeah, this is like a Semanggi Tamrin map. It's very red. There is a huge traffic jam, and huge traffic jam is because of the bad addressing of the road. Consciousness. Inside of brain, there's a lot of neuron. Neuron making the consciousness. This is also self-organization. And economy. There is many organization and people. They trade product each other. And there is market, there is financial system, there is economy. This is self-organization. And teamwork, yeah, this is orchestra, and engineer team is also self-organization. In some case, like a waterfall development or some everything controlled development, it cannot say like a self-organization. But in this agile development or microservice development is more like not controlling, just like behave as servant, ready for good environment, and make team culture better. This is the current way to make developer team, I think. And the other is SNS, like spreading the retweet or something is also self-organization, I think. Ability to see the invisible power behind self-organization. This is really important for the engineer. Why engineers need it? I will answer it. This is a lesson from VIP Plaza team building. When I come here, it was 1.5 years ago, and yeah, our server is quiet, frequently stopping, and there is no kind of Android application. There is not existing, and everything a little bit scattered. And often I said that in Indonesia you need to do some water flow management and micromanagement. I often said from other engineers, but I don't want to do that because micromanagement is very tough, and I need to look each module. I need to understand everything, and most part is it's not interesting. It's not happy for engineer. So I wanted to make some bottom-up culture, autonomous decision making by each engineer. I wanted to make that kind of culture. And what I did is, yeah, task contracted development processing is kind of, yeah, it's just to do task management, it's gonna be. But I made some more like mission contracted project management. So you need to do this mission. This is your responsibility. That kind of task sharing, no, not task sharing, mission sharing to each engineer I did. And I make all monolithic big framework to the microservices. So the boundary of each service is relatively more apparent and easy to assign each module to each engineer. So each engineer does not need to understand entire architecture, just understand one module and it's all. So easier to onboard, easier to understand, easier to delegate. That kind of thing I made. As a result of that, now I'm relatively clear and I can focus on the more futuristic things and the latest technology I can focus on. So that kind of less effort and less controlling way is good weapon of the engineer in the future, I think. So pokoknya lingkungan, I want to say. Pokoknya lingkungan. I will repeat. This is not controlling. This is serving. Like a servant, just serve to the team member and make some good environment. And if there is bad flow in the organization, tweak it and fix the bottleneck. So leader must always observe bottleneck of the organization and just focus on the good culture itself. We can observe bottleneck from culture and the behavior of each engineer. And I will make it late. Acceptance signal. I choose word how to explain this. Sometimes I say that affordance. Sometimes I say that grounding. It's like a mental safety. It's like, okay, I can say anything to this leader. I can suggest anything, anytime. That kind of safety is important for the environment. Yeah, I'm engineer, but I need to do management. In that case, I need to modeling what is organization. Yeah, it's like philosophy. And the result of that, I noticed that this acceptance signal, design of acceptance signal inside of the team is most important thing I thought. Yeah, a little bit complicated, but let's go to the next. Lesson from C2C application. I made a C2C application in Japan. I just did prototyping. The type of application is made meal sharing app. Yeah, please imagine there is a many food shop in Japan. And for making the food shop is quite costly. So just make food in-house and share that. That kind of C2C application I planned. And I did many modeling, like a link canvas and a virtual cycle. I make a lot of structure and the flow of that business, and I got insights that well-balanced user proportion, like a supplier is 50% and the eater is 50%. That kind of ratio is very important at first, I noticed. And CAC means customer acquisition cost. It's like about advertisement cost. LTV is lifetime value. So the one person generates this profit in the whole experience, that kind of indicator. And this in equilibrium is quite important for the boosting our app, I noticed, logically. And after that, just the big ad is the key point I noticed. But actually, it's failed. More like I stopped the project. Before doing the fundraising, I said to the investor that I want to stop that project. The reason is, I will go back to this page. Success in Indonesia, like Gojek, Tokopedia, Shopee, Surabaya, Masaku. Yeah, maybe you all guys doesn't know about it, but this Masaku is food sharing app in Surabaya, and actually it seems like working. But in Japan, there is three important points for C2C application. And there was, in Japan, no salary gap. C2C app is not attractive source of job for Japanese people. Because there is high inheritance tax and high gift tax. It's 55%. In Indonesia, inheritance tax is 0%, right? So everyone's salary is almost flat. And there is no strong desire to cook food and share it on app. And tight regulation in Japan. Food safety law is quite strict in Japan. So when we want to make food in-house, we need to ready for the 2 kitchen sink, and we need to ready for the fan in the window. We need to ready for the washable floor. That kind of very strict regulation there is. And no strong pain for the immature infrastructure. In other words, convenience store like 7-Eleven, and it's like Indomaret. There's many Indomaret kind of thing, and it's more useful, and the fresh food is always selling there. So I concluded that is not working in Japan, but actually like Masaku, that application can work in Surabaya, at least Surabaya. So even if the application itself, even if the server performance itself very good, if the environment is not good, it doesn't work. So engineering is almost like management. Engineering almost like kind of, yeah, everything about a company decision making. So you guys need to have that responsibility for each line of the code. And the value of engineering is leveraged by social relation. So when you join to some company that is business is not good, maybe your code is gonna be not released to the world, or it's gonna be not generate value. So the sensitiveness, what to do, more like what to bet on. This is really important for first career of engineer. And the conclusion, I want to say that don't lose your hacker mind, but never consumed by hacker mind. These two dilemma there is. We are engineer, I'm also engineer. I like to write some good program. But sometimes I gonna be eager to write good programming, but that is actually not important for business. That kind of thing always happen. So we need to measure the balance between business and the engineering, and maybe many times you guys will suffer from that dilemma. I want to write this kind of clean code, but there is no time. Every day you will face that, but we need to conquer that problem. And yeah, in the time when you join to the company or when you make some startup, always there, start from make things people want. This is Paul Graham saying, the Y Combinator founder. And you will go to the established position. It's like never beaten by other company. It's quite unfair advantage. There is that kind of position you can go if you're lucky. But you will go back to the make things people want phase again. This kind of spiral progress. Once you will be in make things people want phase and go to the established position and go back to the make things people want position, that kind of infinite spiral there will be. And this is also dilemma. You need to love this trade-off. You need to struggle with this trade-off. So engineering is not only writing code. You need to look for the society. You need to look for the organization and people. Many aspects included in programming. And I want to name it autonomous organization engineer. You need to think about an autonomous organization as society, as a development team, as a C2C application. So you need to make your target to the not only computer. You need to order computer for controlling, no, not controlling, for make a good culture of the development team, society, application. And yeah, there may be many dilemmas, but let's enjoy this world most difficult trade-off and make this world better place. Okay, it's all. Thank you.